Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. I'm going to go a little bit back in time to 2016 to anonhq.com. They highlight a very glaring problem with the whole gun control argument. In this case, they say alcohol kills nearly 3 times more Americans each year than guns. Interesting, isn't it? One of the most contentious political debates, they say, is the fight over the Second Amendment and gun rights. Every political candidate has been asked to weigh in over their topic, and candidates are literally spending millions of dollars over this one issue alone. And when you take a look back at the 2016, 2017 election cycle, you come to find out that, you know, these politicians will say anything to get elected. And one of the things that was interesting in this piece was Hillary Clinton, who produced a campaign video which basically asked the question, how many people have to die before we actually act? And in this case, Mrs. Clinton's absolutely right. It says, how many people have to die before Americans stand together and take action? Last year alone, nearly 88,000 people, so in 2015, 88,000 people died in America as a direct result of excessive alcohol abuse. This is according to the CDC. Now, in comparison, only 33,000 Americans died last year from gun-related violence, to include terrorism. Now, these stats are no anomaly. If you do your own research, you'll see that alcohol kills 3 times as many Americans each year than guns. And if you're not convinced, did you know that alcohol is the #1 underlying cause and factor behind crime in the U.S.? That's right, according to the NCADD. Similarly, a study conducted by drug experts show that alcohol also causes more harm to society than heroin, cocaine, and marijuana combined. So where is society's outrage? You know, is it directed at the right place? Is it directed at the right thing? Where are all the millions of dollars in campaign contributions and television ads trying to save people's lives from the dangers of alcohol? Where is it? Think about that. I mean, this is huge, because we have to look at the facts. And the facts are, while it's awful that these events take place, they're anomalies in the grand scheme of things. Alcoholism is not an anomaly. It's very present, ever present in our society. And substance abuse is getting worse and worse and worse, because the root cause isn't being tackled. The root cause, my friends, is pain. Voids here. More people than ever before have a void, an emptiness here. You know, this is one of the problems with engineering society, where you worship a government god, where they've engineered God out of society. This is the effect that you get. Now, I know the argument is, well, you know, as religious zealots have killed millions of people over the course of history. Absolutely they have. And they're no better. But I can tell you that when people were more spiritually grounded here in America, things weren't nearly as toxic as they are now. And I know the argument can be, well, look at the 60s and the race riots and, you know, remember Kent State and things like that. Absolutely. They were turbulent times. They were turbulent times. But people relied more on their faith and on their ability to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps than to have the government bail them out, which more and more Americans seem to want, is that cradle to grave care, their safe spaces, and everything else. Well, let me tell you something, folks. Freedom is not free. Freedom comes at a great cost. It takes a lot to maintain freedom. You know, much like a manufacturing plant, okay? One of your manufacturing plants of today, you can go to some of the few remaining in the United States, and you'll come to find that it costs a lot of money to maintain the machinery there in order to keep it running in tip-top shape, to maintain peak efficiency, and to get every penny of profit that you possibly can out of your infrastructure. Consequently, freedom's the same way. You've got to maintain it. It costs a lot in time, in blood, in sweat, in pain. You know, freedom is not a happy-go-lucky thing 100% of the time. It was never promised to us that way. How many people had to shed their blood for freedom? Think about it. So when I see arguments like, what do you need an AR-15 for? It's an asinine straw man argument. Fact is, what does anybody need a semi-automatic rifle for? So what if it has a 20-round magazine? You know? A good saying goes like this, and it's an older one. When everything's illegal, nothing's illegal. And we're pushing the people, slowly but surely, they're being pushed to the point of rebellion in this country. And on purpose. You know? On the other side, though, I have to say, and I applaud most Americans out there for not buying into the propaganda for those that have taken advantage of a very, very hard and painful situation for our country. You can talk about crisis actors. You can talk about all the different things that you always hear come up every time one of these take place. But the one constant in all of these is the mainstream media's need, their desire to take advantage of these horrific events to accomplish political agendas. And that is what is absolutely sickening to me. So, where is society's outrage in all of this? Think about this. It might... Alcohol is a burgeoning... It's a huge industry here in the United States. Huge. Very big lobbying presence. And you can rest assured that they will never be shut down. You know? And it might have something to do with the fact that alcohol tax revenues net the United States government, you know, about $10 billion. Whereas firearm tax revenues only net the government about $123 million a year. So, morality in politics is really bought. We all know this. The more money something makes, the more its dangers can be ignored and swept under the rug. You know? And really, we can substitute alcohol with any one of the leading killers in this country, like suicide. You know, I said that the root cause of the problem is pain. It truly is. It's that emptiness, that shallowness that exists in a person's heart that just runs rampant through society today. And people feel the need to fill the void with whatever they can that makes them feel good, albeit temporary. Suicide, 9th highest cause of death in the United States. And we don't have a problem with that right now? We're not horrified by that right now? You know, these are things that we have to consider when we start going down the road of prohibition in any way, shape, or form. Because if one thing history showed us, prohibition never works. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Hashtag wake the flock up. Have a great day, everybody.